Hey, hey, it's your boy Gpac from Chirac. Please don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to my channel. Please try to help my YouTube channel grow. I'm not asking for any money. All you gotta do is hit the subscribe button. It don't cost you a dime. Even if you do like the video, even if you don't. That's all I'm asking y'all. I'm not asking for no money. Now let's get to the story in hand. This young lady said she ran a high-end escort service. So she said she always wanted to be in the entertainment business. First, she wanted to be an A&R and all other kind of things and managing groups. So she said she met D-Rock. That was Biggie's best friend who took the gun case for Biggie and went to the joint. So she said as times went on, she met his head of security, Uncle Paulie. You heard Biggie holler out on that song, Uncle Paulie, the commission. I think what's beef? I think he shouted them out on that. But anyway, she said they wanted more illegal substance for the party to turn up some more, a little extra coleslaw. If you know what I'm talking about, they wanted to ski a little bit. So she said Uncle Paulie allegedly met her uptown in some restaurant. He come in talking loud. I got the money. She said that sounded kind of strange. You know, he hollering loud like that in a restaurant full of people. You supposed to be low key. Then she said the feds jumped out on her. They set him up. She said allegedly she thinks Puffy, she don't know if it's true or not, but this is her thinking. She think Diddy is an FBI informant. He's well protected because he's been getting away with all kind of things over the years. You know? So enough of me talking. I'm going to let you guys hear this young lady and let her speak her piece.
But then started an escort company, which led to her being introduced to Diddy and his parties. Everything seemed to be fine in that world until she claims Diddy's crew set her up to the feds, causing her 4 years in a New York State prison back in 2012 before being exiled back to Switzerland. She's here now to talk about it all. Neves here. Welcome to the show, Neves. How are you doing?
Hi, Andy. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm great. You got some tea to spill here. I'm so excited to hear about it, guys. This is a wild story, and it puts a whole new perspective on this Diddy story. So I'm grateful for you being here. You're basically going to come in here and acknowledge the fact that Diddy's own team are informants with the feds, which implies that is Diddy himself an informant to the feds? Did they know all along? She's going to drop some serious evidence and tea here, guys, to sort of allude to all of this, which only creates so many more questions I have. But I'm so excited to get through this. So thank you for being here. I want to start with your background. I don't want to avoid that. So you were in the escort business. Can you sort of explain that to the crowd? Sometimes people would wag their finger at that. How did you do that? How did you get into that? How did you get away with that? Can you fill us in a bit?
Amazing price. I came, in a nutshell, I arrived in the US from Switzerland when I was 20 years old. My original plan was actually selling watches in the Diamond District, which I have done in the beginning. But in the year 2008, there was some financial problems in the United States, as we all know, was a little, financial issues that they had. So the company that I worked for went to Hong Kong, and I decided to stay. Now, with no income and only an internship where you don't really make money from, right? I set up an escort service. What does that mean? It's beautiful, elegant, high-end ladies that go on dates with people that pay for that, for their time, right? What they do with their own time is up to them, between two grown people. Obviously, all my ladies were at least 21 years old, and they did that because they wanted to do that, and they were paid really well.
Yeah, she tried to clean that up. All girls are 21 and up. It's up to them what they do. It ain't none of her business. If they want to get down like that, they could get down like that. They were paid really good. They had security. Then she claimed she never, was an escort. She just had the girls. Come on. Do y'all believe that?
Here, I had 50 girls working for me internationally, and that went from Europe all over to the States, to Africa, to the Middle East, to Asia as well. And these girls, I'm from Switzerland. I'm half Italian, half Swiss, and in Switzerland, prostitution is legal. So these girls that came actually to the States that I was flying in, they were there on a 3-month visa, the regular tourist visa, and they already knew how to work. And again, they did that on their free will, and made a bunch of money and left the States again.
You heard that? She said in Switzerland, prostitution is legal, so the girls already knew how to get down. So she had it already set up. And she said she was international. Europe, Asia, Africa. She was everywhere. She was an international madam, excuse me. Boy, this story just getting better and better as we go.
Never did. Obviously, no judgment. But I was really good in managing it, like setting up the times, make sure everyone is on time, kind of coach these girls a little bit how to be a lady, and how to keep it interesting, because looks is one thing, but as well you have to be able to keep a conversation and entertain these gentlemen.
Yeah, no judgment. I just want the background there because I think also relevant based on some of the charges Diddy's facing. I want you guys to really know her background. And so through that work, that you were then also started an internship at Sony. You met D-Rock, which was Biggie's right-hand man at the time. Also then connects you to Uncle Paulie, who was head of security, connects you through Diddy. And so that's where all these connections to Diddy and that team happened, yes?
Yes, exactly. So I met D-Rock just being out and being all at these places where he was as well. And he invited me to some event where I brought my friend with me, and my friend started dating Uncle Paulie at that time, which was the head of security. That was back at that time. I don't know if he's still working there or not, but he was around for many, many, many years. I think he's pretty much well known in the industry. And so they started dating, and I started to form a friendship with him, more like a brother-sister friendship over the years. And that's kind of how we started doing business together. At first, obviously, he did not know about the girls or all my other businesses, because my goal was to be a manager or A&R in the music industry, setting up tours, anything like that. That's how that was my long-term goal. It was not to be a madam or run escort services. That was just a means to like.
Y'all hear that? She formed a brother and sister relationship with D-Rock. Come on, man. The lady's attractive. Don't pull that one on me. You mess it up. That's how them girls be. Oh, this is my brother. This is like my brother. You know you and him. You know what y'all doing.
On some of the keywords we say, but substances were then brought in, and that's when things, and women, and then at a certain point you were asked to bring in a certain amount of substances more than you were comfortable with, correct?
Right, but that was through Uncle Paulie. That was not for the parties. So there is a difference between the parties and the studio and so on. That was just small amounts. But then, obviously, for me, it was not even the interesting part. Like with those substances, it was more like for parties, favors, and for the clients, right? And then if someone asked me for it, I would just give it to them. It was not even about making money. It's just more like getting favors for favors, right? That was more.
Yes.
My way of dealing with it. And since that they were taking a liking into that product, they asked me to just set up, or they just wanted to know who my connect was, right? Which I was not able to give out. And then since he did a lot of favors for me, I kind of felt obligated, being naive, at that time I was 24, obligated to set him up with a bigger amount, which that it kind of, was my big mistake.
So they ask you basically to smuggle a huge amount of, like, they want you to now sort of help be a mule in a way and get some of these across, was it Mexico?
Right, I mean, that was just the first question. Was really, really odd, because we used to go to these poker parties up in Harlem, like private parties. And then he asked me one night if something happened, because he invested into something, if I could bring some drugs over the border. And I said, no, hell no, I'm not going to do that. I'm scared. And again, I'm a girl, right? I'm not like a street person or anything, especially at the time. But I just wanted to be down and be the person that they can. He was not involving Puff at all, right? So that was just him and the friend of his that he introduced me to. But he said it was all together, like, how can I say, it's just his group, his affiliates, let's say. Right.
And so he does this, and you then eventually begrudgingly agree to do this smuggling run as a favor.
Right, but no, it was in New York, so I did not go over the border or anything. I just hooked him up with a substantial bigger amount. I was meeting his friend that he introduced me to on an Upper East Side restaurant, like a luxury place. And the second I went in there, he kind of made a comment of like, oh, I have the money, which was really loud for the fact that we were there like a little bit, not to be out there. And that second, the feds stormed the entire restaurant. They took me down into handcuffs, and I was really, again, very naive. I didn't know exactly what was happening. Why was that happening? This is a friend of his. So, and I didn't really understand as well the American system, right? How you can even set somebody up. Because as far as I know, it doesn't work like that in any other country, especially not where I'm from. You can't just do a crime and then set somebody else up so they're doing the time, So
Hear what she said, where she from. You can't set nobody else up like that. You get caught, you caught. Ain't no going to put on no wire. Ain't going to set nobody up from their country. See this over here in the United States. United States, rats of America, where anybody can get off by snitching. Keep your mouth closed. This lady stood down and did her time.
arrested, as they claimed, he would have been my co-defendant, but he wasn't because he was an undercover agent. Uncle Paulie never got arrested, right? So that means he collaborated with that undercover agent on the DPA, right? And after that, when things are kind of like, when I went to Rikers Island, and now I understand what my charges are, and so on and so on, they obviously wanted me to rat out who was my connect and who are my clients from the escort service, right? And obviously I didn't talk to them about it. I did not give out any names. So I had to figure out, okay, how can I kind of drop down my time a little bit in that sense, because I was looking at a pretty substantial amount of time. And the good
That was my question. Like, what was the sentencing exactly? How do you? What are you? You didn't rat people out, from what you've told us, and so you decided not to do any of that. You could have, but you stood to your ground. How did you get away with a lessened sentence? What was that process like?
Right. So what happened is they made a mistake with the warrant that they have for my house, right? So in the beginning,
To get your person, are the feds covering up for Diddy? Are the feds working with Diddy to wipe out the competition because you're bringing some small party favors to a party? Are they trying to bring their own in? There's a lot of questions in my head that goes to it. Why were the feds coming after you and not them? Are these questions valid? Do you have these questions too?
Yeah. No, and again, I have talked to different people. One of my really good friends is Gene Deal, as he has been very big on this whole P. Diddy situation, has been talking about it for years. And he has told me that, look, in the streets, it's known that Uncle Paulie has been a rat. And the reason was because when all that stuff happened with the BMF, right? We go back to the Black Mafia family, which the drug ring has supported all the businesses of the music industry, right? Somehow Puff was probably involved as well. Not maybe personally, but the crew around him. And a lot of people got arrested in year 2005 and 2006. But some people never got arrested, even they were very deep involved in it, right? And those people probably have to now work as a confidential informant. I'm not saying that is exactly how it went down. That's just like how it makes sense and how it has been talked about for many, many years. Because at the end of the day, if you decide to be a confidential informant, you will have to work for them for a very long time. And they were going to keep reuse you, and they're going to keep, and they're going to pay you as well, right? But in the end of the day, the way...
So there you have it. Oh, Uncle Paulie set up. And she said Diddy could allegedly be a FBI informer. It's your boy Gpac from Chirac, and I'm out.